Welcome to the Inphamus Hour Live. I'm your host, the Inphamus Amadeuz, all social media platforms at the Inphamus Amadeuz. And shout out to the loyal listeners here at Boom Bap Nation, the number one platform for anything that has to do with real rap music, boom bap, break beats, b-boying, 5 elements of hip-hop as always. And make sure you check out our official sponsor, 97 Piff, the first ever fully organic Haze and Hydro can of butter. So if you like to get high, that's what we like to do here. And today I have a very special guest from Brooklyn. Queens, though, represent Queens as well, right? I mean, kind of got like both. Is it like
I was born in Brooklyn? Yeah,
you was born in Brooklyn, but like generally, like, do people consider you mainly from Queens, or do they kind of?
It depends on what point in my life you know me.
Yeah.
I lived in Co-op City before.
Oh, Bronx.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So there's some people that know that guy. And
yeah.
And there's people from Brooklyn that know me, and there's people from Queensbridge that know me.
All right.
And then I can't forget Far Rock. So 4 places that shaped me.
Yeah, they've been going around. Shout out to the Bronx. I'm from Kingsbridge, so you know, BX all day. Cormega's here. Welcome to the Inphamus Hour.
Thanks for having me, bro.
So today I got a real good listen to the realness too, and there were 3 things that I really liked about the album. One, the first record that I got wasn't the record with Nas. I think it was Essential. That was the first one I got in the DJ pool. And I kind of felt like I got cheated a little bit because I felt the album was better, listening straight through.
Wow. Okay.
Like one this to the last record, it felt like one composition.
Okay.
Second thing that I liked about the album was I think it showed a level of vulnerability that musicians no longer show, right? For the most part, you were talking about certain things on there, which leads me to my last point, the concept of integrity, which is super like rare nowadays. So talk about this project and leading into it, and was this kind of the design of the album?
Yeah, the concept behind the album was to like take what we did with the first realness and add on to it from a mature perspective and from a perspective of a MC that grew as an artist. Like I really felt in my heart that I grew, that I'm a better artist than I was when I made the first realness.
Yeah.
So I wanted to translate that into my music, and I wanted to rap for my city because, a lot of people ain't rapping.
Yeah, no, that's true. Do you think like artists from the 90s specifically maybe got an unfair assessment where like guys would just want to hear Illmatic, right? And they may have not been in tune with King's Disease, right? So they expecting a certain artist. Is it unfair to judge artists in that way where it's like maybe the best records you created were in the 90s instead of letting them create throughout their body of work?
I think that's very unfair, especially with an artist like the one you just mentioned, because he grew as an artist. He's one of the main guys from the 90s that grew and that is mad consistent. I just had a conversation with him. I'm like, yo, you realize you've been putting out music since like 92. Like, that's not an easy thing. We're in 2022.
Yeah.
So to do that, and it's not just about putting out music, it's about high level of lyricism. And everybody from our era doesn't have that. There's some people that peaked already, and there's some people that are trying to chase something that has passed them by. So I salute the artists that are still pushing the boundaries of this genre of ours.
Yeah, no, that's super dope. And then I mean, let's not be humble here. You got a Grammy for this King Disease project. How does that feel like, almost going full circle, being in the game 20, 25 some odd years and to get that type of accomplishment? Is that still important, you think, now?
I think it was pretty cool. I really don't look at it as like I did anything. I just lucked up and I was on my man's album because that album was so good. It probably would have got a Grammy regardless of me being on it. So I'm just happy that I was along for that ride. I'm happy he reached out to me to get on that project. But yeah, I'm happy about that Grammy. That's a little flex.
Yeah. So when I heard Nas talk about this record, he kind of explained it like this was affirmative action too. Because I guess he had the first affirmative action you guys were on, and then this was like the second version, and then we had the Firm album, like in between there. So was that kind of the direction from like your understanding as far as the song?
Well, I think what he meant is the lineup. It was the original lineup.
Yeah.
As far as the song, the content of the song was very different from affirmative action.
Yeah.
Affirmative action was just spitting
and
bars, and this song was mostly talking about relationships. And things of that. So I think. This was a song about growth. I think a lot of fans wanted to hear us just spit. But like you said, sometimes the fans have to let the artist grow.
Yeah, no, definitely. I remember you had got like Source magazine's think it was Underground Album of the Year. This was a while ago. I think it was Source Magazine's Underground Album
you
of the
talking
Year.
about the Source Awards?
Source Awards.
Yeah.
And do you think like outlets like that may have lost their way as far as like what it means to the culture? I remember like getting 5 mics was like a big thing, and now it's kind of like people are kind of not looking at it. They're looking at media in a sense where it's almost like clickbait.
Yeah.
You think media has dropped the ball? Maybe.
I don't even. When's the last time you seen a Source?
It's been.
So I don't even know what's up with them. Obviously, it's not the same. They got a different owner. And I think what they should have did was they should have tried to reach out to some of the strongest contributors that ever was a part of the Source. I'm talking about from day one. I'm talking about the Carloses and the Mecca and everybody that was official, that was a part of it, or writers that you respect. They should have reached out to them and tried to bring them on board. So I don't know what's going on over there, but it's definitely different.
So let's go back to early Cormega. What made you fall in love with hip hop? And at that time, were you just kind of rapping, or I figured everybody was kind of doing different things. I was talking to Diamond D's, like everybody was kind of like a break boy, or they were like DJing. So were you always just a lyricist, or did you kind of dibble dabble into other elements?
I always was a rapper. I used to mess around with the turntables. My man Marlon, shout out to Marlon and his cousin Keith. I don't know what Keith's DJ name is, but I know he did work on Hot 97. He's a DJ in Florida right now. But those guys in Co-op City, really, when I used to go back there, they always had equipment, and they really hooked me on that life. But I always wanted to rap. I dabbled with DJing, but it wasn't serious. I dabbled with beatboxing, but it wasn't serious. So rap was always my passion. I think I was hooked on rap when I first heard it. When I first heard, I remember Sugar Hill Gang came out, and my father and everybody was listening to it. So it was like adults and kids was enjoying it. It's like, this is cool. Like, everybody likes it. And then I heard other people, like Shy Rock, Tila Rock, Shantae, Shan, LL, Run DMC, it was like, wow. And then when I heard, there was 2 people that really were definitive to me early in those years. LL and Run DMC, those were stars. But as far as like wordplay, Tila Rock was real serious. Like the way he put his words together, I studied him. I studied MC Shan, and then Public Enemy came out with some loud music, like an aggressive, assertive music I've never heard. Then after that, once Rakim and Kool G Rap and Kane came, it was like, wow. So I've always wanted to be a rapper. Yeah.
You've been on wax since the early 90s, obviously. Early on, DJ Hot Day, Black Poet. And we were talking a little bit about off camera about Black Poet. Like, Black Poet is actually like one of my favorite MCs, and I don't kind of feel like he gets the credit that he deserves. In a sense, he's almost like in the forgotten. Like, if you know, in a sense, right?
He's definitely one of the when battling was significant. He was a significant guy in Queensbridge, and he was going at whoever. Like, he had songs dissing whoever. Like, I'm talking about rappers like that likes a no to diss him. He dissed. So hold on, I'm gonna try to call him right now.
Yeah, we're doing it live. This is Infamous Hour. I'm your host, the Infamous Amadeuz. Cormega is in the building. If you're watching right now, we in the chat. We are scanning actively for questions and comments. You can watch us every single Thursday here on Boom Bap Nation, 9 p.m. EST. Or if you listen on the audio side, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and more. Cormega has a new project, The Realness 2. It is an amazing project. It's dope read. It's a dope composition. Try to get Black Poet on the phone. The super OG. So 91, hip hop was different, right? And then at some point it changed over where the tempo started to slow down. It became more about lyricism. Who do you like attribute to that? I mean, obviously people will credit Nas, but we have like the Kool G Raps of the world. We could even say Grandmaster Caz.
As far as lyrics?
Yeah, as far as like changing it from the club scene to more of a visual perspective and accurate reporting what was going on in the streets.
I think Caz did his thing. Caz impact was overlooked in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? There's 2 people from the 80s that were really symbolic. It was Caz and Melly Mel. So those guys are like, Caz still nice. I don't know. I haven't heard.
Super nice.
So it's like, Caz really don't get the credit he deserved. But for me, I think the guys that really changed it in the 90s, I think Kool G Rap changed a lot of rap. Because even if you listen to a lot of people that became symbolic. You can hear his influence in them. You can hear Coogee Rap in Scarface.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear Coogee Rap in Nas. You can hear him in Me. You can hear him in AZ. You can hear him in MOP. Big Pun said that's his favorite rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could go on and on. Like, we studied and emulated Coogee Rap. Coogee Rap was one of those rappers, like, we all love Rakim. I look at Rakim as the pinnacle also. And then we looked at Kane as top tier too. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, damn, if they was to really go back to back, I don't know who would come out on top. Like, that's how nice Coogee Rap was. I mean, as far as body and songs, he created that whole body of record joint. Like, I've never heard nobody body a song until the symphony. He
like straight through, just kill it, yeah.
And Kane was the man, so we was all waiting for Kane to kill it. And Kane did his thing, but Coogee Rap killed it. So it's like, oh shit. So that's what people started taking him serious. And then you think Road to Riches and all that street shit, like, yo, he set the tone for street rap in New York.
Yeah.
So he definitely deserves way more credit.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of guys who are at the top tier of lyricism, and I always found it compelling where we have a hip hop museum, hip hop like Hall of Fame, I guess you would call it,
in the Bronx.
In the Bronx, yeah. And it's almost like the public doesn't recognize you until you get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But we have our own museum. Why do you think that is?
I think it's a deeper. I think the Black and brown community got to do a lot of soul searching because we've been so oppressed and so taught to not give each other props. Like, we give each other props when the person's dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ever notice, like, everybody loved Big L after he died, but Big L been nice. He didn't. Anybody that's gonna sit here and say he got the love that he deserved when he was alive, they're not being honest. There's so many dope rappers that don't get the credit they deserve, and I think our communities have to show more love to ourselves and not defer to the outsiders and not depend on the outsiders. That's what our biggest flaw is, because if we respect each other and salute each other, I mean, we be on top. We be on top financially, economically, culture-wise. I mean, we bring so much to the fucking table, man. Like, we remix life. You give us something, you give us adversity, and we'll turn it into something. Like, people had no electricity, but they found a way to turn on fucking equipment for jams. You know what I'm saying? People found ways to make 2 record plays in a mixer, create a genre. Like, give us a little opportunity and we'll turn it into something big. But we got to start respecting each other. Even when you look at it, you mentioned the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Right now, if Led Zeppelin and, let's just say Led Zeppelin and fucking, I don't know, Kiss and U2 do a concert right now.
It's sold out completely.
All ages.
Yeah.
But young people don't even, like, I was talking to my man in England the other day. He's like, the young people don't even know who Mobb Deep is.
Yeah, they don't.
That's
clueless.
Craziness to me.
Clueless. My kids, there's such a generational gap.
Yeah.
So, I have teenagers, and they are only tapped in because of who I am. But had I not sat them down and made them listen to Illmatic or this record or that record, they would just have no clue. It's like almost oblivious.
That's our job. What you're doing is the right thing. I try to do that with my kids too. That's what we got to do to keep the culture going. We got to teach them who's dope and what's real. And if we don't, then we'll be glorifying people that don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And there'll be people that's unknown that are key contributors. Like, Marley Marl should be looked at like Dr. Dre.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So it's like so many people that paved the way and put sweat equity into this culture. And, the craziest thing about us is like they'll disrespect an old rapper, but they'll sweat Alpo. Or they'll sweat, what's my man name? Nicky Barnes, or what's the guy that had the movie?
Like the street guys.
Yeah. But some of these guys,
Frank Lucas. Yeah, Frank Lucas, yeah.
These dudes are older than, not Alpo, but Frank Lucas is older than any rapper.
Yeah.
So you're gonna you don't respect a rapper that's older, but you respect an old drug dealer.
Yeah. It's a glorification of film as well, right? It's like weird.
So we glorify the wrong shit. And then it's like, that's us as a people. We got to wake up and love ourselves more and love what we bring to the table more. And that's how we get stronger.
For someone who's been in the game this long, where do you think the generational gap begins, right? Because, if you look at hip-hop from the 90s and the 80s, tempos were different. Maybe content was different, but the elements were still the same, right? You got break beats, you got sampling, you got MCing.
And passion.
Passion. and kind of knowing your artist without ever meeting your artist, right? But then at some point, from like 2000 on, it just kind of changed completely. And now we literally have a gap where it's like a 18-year-old from Queensbridge may not know who a Nature is or Tragic Gaddafi for some reason. Like, what do you think that actually stems from?
Well, one thing I say about the young guys at Queensbridge, they do their research, like, because you hear so much about the rappers, and it might be like, you might live on Nature's block. So they might be like, yeah, that's Nature block. Nature's lived there. Or, you know, once in a while, everybody comes through. So I think they know some of the guys. They might not know the catalog, but they know some of the guys. So I give them that. They do their research, but there's other places that don't. I think at some point, greed and culture conflicted. I was on Def Jam / Violator. I remember I had a song called Testament, which was banging. You know what I'm saying? And I'll never forget the lady from Def Jam's like, this record is cool, but you need something hot.
Really?
Now she's the president of Atlantic.
Huh. Is this the Violators album with?
It wasn't even on the Violator. It was my song.
Okay,
for my album that never came out.
Got it.
On
So they shelved it.
Def Jam. Yeah, it got shelved. And then so it's like people like that are calling the shots on a culture that they didn't grow up in. It's a culture that they groomed themselves into, not grew into. So she's looking for hot, but anything could be hot. You know what I'm saying? Like you could do something. You could do a clown moving and it'd be hot.
Yeah.
So it's people like that. Too many people like that. Like even, come on, you in the game. Sometimes we walk in these offices and we don't see too many people that look like us.
No, it's a bunch of people that didn't come from the culture that's controlling.
And they controlling it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to rap like this, you got to rap. So it's like you either going to conform to that or you're going to do what you want. And the beauty of me being independent is I do what I want. Like you're not going to tell me how to make music that I grew up, that I'm passionate about. Like I study this shit, I live and die this. Like I love hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So I pay my dues since Park Jams and opening up for people. I opened up for Irby and Rakim back in the days. I got on the stage with Large Professor back in the days. You know, I was around Marley, I was around Shan, I was around the greats. Like I paid my dues. I seen what greatness is. So I'm not gonna stray from that to do what you think is hot. Yeah. And then there's no loyalty. If you think about hot rappers, they hot, but soon they not hot no more. Y'all discard them.
Yeah, completely.
You know what I'm saying? So you think about my guy. This is why we hot. This is why we hot. What's that? Remember that song?
Nims.
See what I'm saying?
Mims, M-I-M-S, yeah.
What's up? So he was the man for then, and then after that, where's he at? What are y'all doing with him? Like there's no loyalty. Yeah. I learned that the game is crazy when I was on Def Jam / Violator, and I went on that tour, Survival Illest tour. And I'll never forget, this when I knew that the industry was cold. I'll never forget when Def Jam didn't re-sign Onyx. It was like they let I could not.
Is this after Last Days? Around that time.
It was like 99. I believe.
So this is like Last Days, that album.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, huh? I thought it was like a family. Yeah. Because on the tour, it's all love. The staff, they was loved by the people, and then y'all just let them go. And I never understood and I never respected that about the industry, because the industry is like a horse race. Like there's some good horses in the stable, but you just want the one that's winning, and fuck all the other ones.
Tell them.
The industry needs restructuring. The way to make the industry dope is to have clear expectations of what an artist is going to give you. I would be like, okay, Onyx is going to give you gold max. So we'll give them a budget that's consistent with gold. And we'll show them, you know what I'm saying? And we'll push them, and hopefully they go up more rather than just let them go. And it happened to numerous artists, but that's the first time I seen it. I couldn't believe that. I was in shock because I was just on the tour with them. And I never felt that. It made me uncomfortable. So I knew I was expendable after that. Yeah. And that's why I got out of there.
Yeah. Are we still in a space where lyrical artists from this generation can achieve gold and platinum status even with streaming? Because I kind of feel like people use attention span as an excuse, right? It's like you're on your fucking phone every day, so obviously you're paying attention to what you want to pay attention to. So is it possible for an Onyx or Cormega or any artist from this era to still achieve those type of accolades?
I think with the right push, yeah. I mean, Nas was doing it for a while. Jay was doing it. So those guys had that push. I don't know what DMX last album did, but I'm pretty sure it did numbers. So it's like if you got the right push and you got the right following. Like when I came out with The Realness, everybody from the industry was like, this would have definitely went gold, because I sold over 100,000 quick. Yeah. So it's like, now you imagine that on a major with the major machines and the money behind it. So it's like, if you put a push, but there's a disinterest. See, hip hop there's two things that hip hop does that hurts the culture. One is ageism, and it's two is they don't salute the women the way they should. And it's like a woman should not be looked at as old when she hits 30.
Yeah. We're talking about old school rappers, quote unquote, or we're talking about just in general?
All right, think of any female rapper that's coming out that's 30.
There's not a lot. But what I salute about the female artists, like the new ones, I think that they're still rapping, at least. They're not melodic, in a sense, where it's like...
They're carrying us.
They are. No, it's crazy to think about that, right? This day and age.
This game is sexist, and it's sexist, and it's ageism. They do not want to give the women the credit. I'm going to keep it real with you right now. New York been quiet. There's two women that made the most noise out of New York more than anybody. Nicki Minaj and Cardi B.
Cardi B.
Those two chicks made so much noise.
Yeah.
And even in between all of that, you got Remy Ma with making hits with Fat Joe. So women contribute really strong to this game, but they don't get the credit they deserve. And then there's OGs that really are contributors, but they don't get the credit. Only OG that really gets revered by everybody is Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre could be 78, and he's like Detox 3 coming out. Everybody's like,
they're still waiting on the album. It's like never coming out yet.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I kind of feel like as well, like artists kind of lost the hunger for groundwork in a sense, right? So I remember you on like the Funk Flex Volume 2. You had a Stretch and Bob freestyle. I think one of those was on the Rainy Days beat.
Yep, that's the Funk Master.
Yeah, Funk Flex joint. And it's like now, so like I work in radio and I'm there and I'm like, all right, well, let's perform a record. Let's put a beat on. Let's rap. I mean, this is hip hop. My audience is 35 to 55. I
They want to hear that, yeah.
This is the audience for you. And they're like, call me next time. Do you think that's obviously a mistake, right, for an artist?
Yeah, I think so. I almost was that guy when I came up to the radio station. I was like,
no, you rapped.
But I did rap.
Yeah,
you seen I was sincerely confused. I didn't know what's going on. I was ready to leave. And then you was like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, you got to rap. I was like, seriously? So, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You tell me ahead of time. I might even do something that ain't out. That
Something
ain't
exclusive.
You know what I'm saying? I like to do shit like that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Here on the Inphamus Hour, I have a top 5 segment. I've done everything like chicken wings, whack rappers. So for you, top 5 producers with bars all time.
Woo. Top 5 producers with bars. I got to put Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre.
I got to put Large Professor.
Large Pro.
Got to put Havoc.
Havoc.
Got to put Yeezy.
Kanye.
Yep. Kanye got some rhymes, and he, when he produced, he produced. So who I got? Dre,
Large Pro, Havoc,
Large
Yeezy.
Pro, Havoc, Ye, and the fifth one.
P Rock. No, we don't influence. I mean, there's a lot of them. You got P Rock. You got Q-Tip.
Q-Tip is definitely.
There's a lot.
It's
Rock Marciano, he never gets mentioned. Granddaddy IU, he rapped, he did beats. There's a few of them.
Rock nice. Rock mostly known for rapping though.
Yeah. So you would have considered him like a...
People got to definitely check out his joint. But talking about somebody like Havoc. Havoc made hits in the 90s, 2000s. Havoc made fucking Shook Ones, which is arguably, some people say that's the greatest beat ever.
No, it is. It's literally...
38 special.
And then 38 is nasty. And then he made Jada Kid's biggest song, that Wild joint. That was Havoc. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So-
he did.
And then he just rapped on my album, the song Paradise. Video come out tonight, actually.
Oh, it's right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people love that song.
Uh-huh.
So Havoc, Large Pro, Dr. Dre, Kanye. There's one more. That last one is tough, man.
You got Jay Dilla. Who else am I missing?
I like Jay Dilla, but I never really. I studied him more after he died.
And that's unfortunate, right?
Yeah,
It is unfortunate.
So I can't really give you an honest assessment. I could say Jay Dilla as the popular answer, but that won't be being sincere.
Yeah.
As I love him, I respect him, but I didn't listen to his stuff like that. There's somebody I don't want to say. I got Havoc, Large Pro, Dre, and Kanye for sure. Who? I like Q-Tip. I'm trying to think. Before I get after him, I'm trying to think.
Diamond D.
Diamond D is nasty too.
Lord Finesse. I mean, I would consider Lord Finesse more of a rapper. He did beats though. But
Lord Finesse got fire on the low too.
Yeah.
But Lord Finesse is like, F rap. I wish he rapped more.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I've been trying to gas him to come out of retirement. There's one more. Let me get this. Got to be somebody.
DJ Quick.
I know who the fifth person is, and nobody mentioned him. He got hits. Nope. I don't think Eminem is fire, but I never really knew him as a producer. Little Fame.
Lil Fame. M.O.P.
Little Fame did a lot of hits.
Really? Really? I didn't know that.
Little Fame got some joints. Look on them
On the credits?
M.O.P. albums. Yeah. Fame is an animal.
Yeah, shout out to Lil Fame. You watch right now, this is the Inphamus Hour. I have Cormega here. New album, The Realness 2, out now. So what does the promotion run like now, obviously, because you're independent. So you're not waiting around for like the label to send you somewhere. You kind of do it on your own. Do you kind of like that level of independence and more importantly, going direct to consumer? Right now we're in a day where we can just post on social media, kind of interact directly with the fans. You like that type of ground? Or?
I've been doing that, though, so it's not nothing new to me. The thing about this particular album is that it got more love than I anticipated.
Okay. And why is that, you think?
I don't know, because like we were saying, like people be underestimating our generation or lyricists don't get the love. And then when the album came out, like it came out, today makes a month.
Yeah.
And people still talking about it. I'm still getting mad requests for interviews. And, you know, so that was some humbling thing. I just came back from Ohio last night. So I slept and then I came out here. So it was like, and then
right to the ground.
You know what I'm saying? Then I got a show on Friday in Amityville, New York, and then I got a
South Long Island.
Yeah, and then I got a release for like some Cormega clothing in the Lower East Side out here on Saturday. So it's like now I'm looking at I got to make a California run. I did Atlanta run. I did radio out there. I did interviews. Now I got to do a California run. Then after that, I got to, you know, I'm looking at overseas. So I'm loving the directness to fans, but I've been like that for years.
Yeah. You know, I find traveling the country that I find generally, like when it comes to a crop of artists, not classic artists, just artists, I find like it's harder to find like a core of like real lyricists in New York anymore, right? Because it's just changed so much with the younger MCs, right? For me personally, when I go to LA, I still feel like they kind of have done a great job of preserving their sound. Like as you're traveling the country, is there somewhere that you've been where you're like, well, this spot is being overlooked when we're looking for lyricists?
That was a great point that you said, and I will tell you this: it's about how radio treats the artist too.
Oh no, it's 100%.
Because you go to California, there's underground dudes that's getting a look.
Yeah.
You listen to the radio and you hear some underground dudes that spit, and it's like, oh wow. New York is like, forget it. I don't think I've heard none of my songs on High 97 from The Realness 2, which is baffling to me. Shout out to Rosenberg. I heard they was talking about my album. Yeah, but that's everybody else is gonna act like they didn't see it. Y'all didn't see it. Like the shit was trending. It was like number 3 on iTunes. It was making mad noise and nobody. So y'all see a record with Nas and Mega and y'all didn't want to play that. Yeah. So I just look at radio in New York like, thank God for Sirius and the neutrality, you know, the neutralness and the fairness, because that other game is messed up, and that's why a lot of young artists out here, they have to follow trends. So like, oh, this is what's hot. We got to rap like this just to get that notice, because they go by what they hear on the air. Whereas there's people like Rome Streets could spit. Yeah, you know definitely. So give them some burn. And there's mad other rappers that could spit. So it's like, we got to do better. We got to really got to stop pointing the fingers and point the fingers at ourselves and see what we can do to better it. Like me personally, I got a show this Friday. I got my man Rob Markman performing because
shout out Rob Markman. You know, he's a super underrated lyricist. They know him for genius. I don't know if he's on Sirius XM anymore. He was at one time. I don't know if he is anymore.
I ain't even know. I know I like what he's doing as an artist. Dope, I like his grind. He's performing. I got my man Bones Brigante performing. So like, I give younger people a chance all the time. And some of these relationships just grow into something bigger. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like Sha Money XL. That was my man. I bought a beat from him before all of that. Before I was the first person that got a beat. And now that's my man. Actually, I need to go to the studio. I got to do a verse for him. So I'll be in the studio within the next week or so.
Do you think we're reaching a space where terrestrial radio is not going to matter anymore? It's kind of like you go in your car, and this is not serious because you pay for Sirius XM. So you'll kind of go in your car and just, play your Spotify, play your iTunes, maybe not put the FM dial on. So do you think we're reaching that point?
Definitely.
And do you think that radio did that to themselves long term?
Radio definitely did that to themselves because a lot of people didn't have testicular fortitude. So I think recently Flex started doing a challenge.
Yeah, challenging rappers to come.
And I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because it's giving artists that deserve a little bit more light or that was dope a look. Now, my thing is, challenge other rappers. Don't recycle the praise. Like, challenge other rappers, too. That was dope. That's quiet.
So not only
OC,
like... Okay, yeah, not like the Busta Rhymes of the world. OC,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Busta's a star.
Yeah, challenge you.
No comment. I got so many songs in the stash. I played a song on Nori's Drink Champ before that Juju produced, and I'm just rapping.
Juju Beat Nuts.
Yeah, he produced, and I'm rapping like 60 bars on some dedication to Pun joint. That's one of the most requested songs people ask me. Yo, when's that song coming up? So it's like I got so many songs. I got like a whole compilation album that I was working on, but I got Freddie Fox on it. I got Ransom. I got DMC, Styles P, Chuck D, Rock Marcy, Sean Price. I got We Are the World album of rap.
Just sitting around, right?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when I finish, right now, the Poverty is promoting the realness too, knocking out as many videos as I can, and then seeing what's up with Havoc, because me and Havoc was finishing the album, and me and Harry Fraud.
Oh, shout out to Harry Fraud. Yeah. Harry Fraud has done a great job of keeping like the ball shit. You know what I mean? With his production.
Yeah, he's a beautiful, beautiful producer, man. Yeah, for real.
So long term, like, where do you see the trajectory of your career, right? Because at one point you took there was like a gap. I think it was like 6 years. You didn't put that out, right?
I'll tell you what happened. I wanted to be the father for my daughter that I needed. And now my daughter's in college, so I did my job.
Yeah.
I didn't have a wife. I didn't have a nanny. So I was doing laundry. I was doing dishes. I was going to school meetings. I was cleaning my daughter's room when it's supposed to be clean and it's not clean. Did a lot of... I had to learn how to cook a little something. I had to be that guy.
My kids make me cook all day.
You know what I'm saying? So there was times when there's like, I might be doing a show somewhere out of the country. Let's just say I'm somewhere in Europe, and they're like, yo, Mega, we could reroute you and send you straight to Berlin, and then you go, but I couldn't. I was like, I go home with my daughter.
Kids, yeah.
So I gave all this time to my daughter, and I don't regret it now because now my daughter is doing good in school, and also because the fans rewarded me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
for coming back.
And, the love that I got for this album, it's crazy. Like the word masterpiece has never been something I've seen a lot. I've seen people say you got good. I see the word masterpiece every time somebody talks about this album. Somebody says masterpiece.
Yeah.
So that was very humbling for me.
Yeah, I found that like in the beginning of my DJ career, man, I was outside a lot. Like it. Cause I'm a relative new DJ, so I got the Sirius XM. I was a cameraman, and then I maneuvered my way and figured out how to DJ, and I was doing all these clubs and shit. And then it becomes like the treacherous lifestyle of not coming home, booked every night, drinking, smoking, not taking care of yourself. Yeah. And then when the pandemic came, I had to sit down with my family.
Right. Stillness.
Now we're all home, and it's like, Dad, you've been gone this whole time. And I'm like, fuck, did I drop the ball? Do you think we kind of lose ourselves a little bit? Like when we're chasing the bag, we're chasing, not fame, because it's always money, financial, not everybody. Because some guys, a lot of us. Do we drop the ball?
100%. And we chase something that's not even guaranteed.
Yeah, no,
prestige is an illusion. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to find your comfort zone and what matters more. Because I didn't want to be that guy that my daughter hates my guts. Sometimes these kids, they feel a certain way, and it's hard to change that feeling. I'd rather, and my fans, I love my fans because they're so patient and understanding. So while I was gone, they held me down. Like I was doing merchandise, I was doing collaboration with clothes company. My fans were showing up. Like this thing I'm doing, Privilege, is probably my 8th collaboration with them. You know what I'm saying? And Privilege is a known brand, so it's an honor to do stuff like that. But the fans always show up, and it's like. If it wasn't for the fans, who knows what I would be doing right now? Yeah,
there's a record on your project. I think it's Life and Rhymes. You had said something to the effect of, like your child, doesn't know the life that you went through. Not in that way, but it was more to the effect because we have a habit of sheltering our children, right? We grow up a certain way, jail, streets, crack, and then we take our kids, we remove them from these situations, and then we kind of, put them in a better position, and then it's like they can't kind of relate to like what's going on. Do you think that's a mistake in a sense, or like should we let our kids kind of figure it out a little bit themselves?
I think everything in moderation and everything balanced. I think you can, like I told my daughter, because first of all, once you have kids, your kid's always going to look at you like you're not cool, like you think you are. Like you could be the flyest dude ever.
Yeah, it's clear.
And your kids is like, and then until other people start telling your kids stuff like, yo, your father, like, I remember I was in Queensbridge one night, and then we was at the center, and somebody was like, yeah, your father was a gangster. Like, they was telling my daughter that, and I ain't even want the dude to tell her that. I'm looking at him like, chill.
Yeah, relax.
But they start hearing things and knowing things. My thing was make sure that my son doesn't do anything that I did in the past. Like I went through those triumphs and to those trials and tribulations, so you don't have to go through that. Like you're the triumph. Like I want you to excel in school, excel in life. Like I'll take the blow, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
So I think we have to have balance. I think we have to give attention to things we love. And it's like chasing a bag. Sometimes you probably experience this. You chasing a bag, but then there's family members like elders and shit. Your favorite aunt or your uncle you like, or a cousin that's older than really fucks with you. They invite you to stuff and like, damn, I can't go. I got to be here this day. Yeah. And then next thing you know, they die.
Yeah, and then
you feel regret and remorse. Like, wow, I should have gave them more time. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing I've been doing lately. I've been giving my family more time.
Yeah.
Because you can't get that back. You could get a career back if you have consistent music and you have a fan base. You could. I'm living proof you could get it back, but you can't get back people that's gone. Mm-hmm. So
where are we with the? So here at Boom Bap Nation, we have like a very 40 to 55 working class, real hip hop fans, and I find a lot of times they're just not tapping in. So Snoop just dropped an album, like Back on Death Row. Instead of listening to that, they go back to Doggy Style or this guy. So how do we get the fans to re-engage and become excited again with an artist like Cormega or any artist dropping new music?
Yo, the way that I look at music is this. I look at music as a part of my life. And I know as you grow, certain things change about you. Certain things. All right, the movie The Goonies, I loved it when I was a kid. I don't want to watch The Goonies right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to watch The Smurfs right now. Certain things is like, I leave it when I was that. So when you're a rapper, when you reach a certain age, especially women mature faster than men.
Yeah.
So there's times I heard women that say, I don't really listen to rap no more. And I'm like, really? Like, why? And it's like, it's too much violence, it's too sexist.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole audience that's not being fed. So when I made my album, I wanted to speak to the people that are getting older. I want to speak to people who's in their 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. So I'm talking about life. Everybody can relate to life. I'm talking about changing. I'm talking about my spirituality. I'm talking about what I want for my kids. That stuff older people can relate to. Like, I've literally had mail from fans that stopped me in my tracks. You know what I'm saying? Like, stopped me in my tracks.
Like personal, like your music touched them in a way where...
Every day.
Really?
Every day. Yeah. Every day. So it's like, wow. Like, it makes me look at life like I'm here for something else. Like, it's a whole different purpose than just entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, your music helped me get through a dark place. Your music, you grew. When I first started listening to you, Meg, I was 17. Now I'm such and such years old, and I respect you as a man. Yeah. It's stuff like that that's just like, wow. It's the stuff like that motivates me to keep going.
Yeah, like people follow you along their journey, and they kind of grow with you. And that was the thing about knowing artists specifically in the 90s, where it's kind of like I felt like I knew you without ever meeting you. Right? And you connected in a certain way. And I feel like a lot of artists don't have that sort of vulnerability. Remember, we were talking about your album, like showing a level of vulnerability, showing a level of personality, and artists have gotten away from that. Do you think maybe because the way social media is, you have a perception every day? It's like, okay, this is what people want to see, so I need to be like that instead of being yourself.
You know what I realized? Some people are artists and some people are rappers.
And there is a big difference between the two. Between being an artist,
some people don't want to grow.
Yeah.
They're scared to grow.
Yeah.
Some people are in character. So it's like they're insecure about themselves. So like, I got to be a tough guy, because when you take away the tough guy stuff, who am I? So some people are going to be So it's like when you're older and you're looking at a guy in his 40s, 50s talking tough guy stuff, kind of, even as a man, even in our social life, as we get older, we don't want, think about it, you got a friend from your block that used to always want to fight when he go to the club. It was cute when he was younger,
Yeah,
but
but now
now
you can't do it anymore.
you don't even want to bring him around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like we grow in life. And a lot of rappers, they don't want to grow. Like when I hear rappers, especially in their 40s and up, talking about they selling crack and this and that.
So it's all about the same shit. And it's like, where did you grow?
Yeah, where's the growth? Where's the elevation? Like, is that all you is? Mm-hmm. So it's like you said, you brought it up. I said, my son on experience situations I've been through, some didn't get through it. So it's basically like I'm saying, a lot of people died, or a lot of people met, sinister fates in this life, and my son is shielded from that. So any real parent gonna respect that.
Yeah. No, 100%. Now back to the MC side. Who is the best rapper that you ever met?
The best rapper I ever met.
Like the best rapper. Maybe it don't have to be a known rapper. Just like the best rapper, like hands down. Like this guy is the just greatest lyricist that you've personally ever met or been around.
That's a tough question because
I mean, there's a lot. Yeah.
Best rapper I ever met. That is a tough question because I know Rakim and I know Nas and I know Coogee Rap. So I know the three-headed monster. I don't think you could go any higher than that.
Yeah. No, that is the top tier of lyricism.
People got their opinions and bias. I ain't talking about hit records. I ain't talking about sales. I'm talking about lyrical skill and impact on the culture. Before Rakim, people was rapping like a ha 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 and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Nas is like the second coming of Ra. And Coogee Rap, forget about it.
Yeah.
He's the guy that nobody wanted to rap after. Like, so it's like those guys. But there's some, as far as guys that's not on, there's a guy, I don't even know his name. Me and him was going back and forth at Brooklyn Queens Day back in the days. It was a festival they used to have in Queens, and me and this guy was rapping, going at it, and there was a big crowd around us. You'd have thought we was both stars, and we wasn't. That was the nicest dude I ever battled. I don't know his name. But the nicest rappers I ever been around is definitely, that I've been exposed to, is easily Nas, Rakim, and Coogee Rap.
Yeah, the three-headed monster. Three of the greatest all time. Now, on that note, was there ever a beat that you got, that you turned down, that ended up being a classic? They like, fuck, I should have kept that shit for myself.
I think Live Nigga Rap, Havoc.
Wait, hold on, wait.
I think that was my beat first.
Wait, you had that?
One of those beats that Nas used was, I think it was Live Nigga Rap. Yeah, Havoc played that for me before. And I was ignorant at the time. I just came home from jail. Yeah. And I was like, nah, I don't want that. I want something like Shook Ones. I'm thinking.
But Live Nigga Rap was that was a hard ass beat. But I feel you, Shook Ones was like an anthem. Yeah.
I was ignorant. You take what you get, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now when I hear it, I'll be like, oh shit, So that's a beat. That's the only one. That's the only beat that I regret. But at the end of the day, I don't regret it because it came out dope.
Yeah.
With Son. If I didn't want it, if I didn't show that much love to it, it's kind of like, you see a girl and you think she's cute, but you're not really going at her, or you're not really showing interest, and then somebody else wipes her up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta respect that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is. He took the beat, he made something fire out of it.
Yeah. Live Nigga Rap was super dope. Now, how about a record that maybe you were supposed to be on? Maybe you missed the studio session. Maybe you were on it, they took the verse off. Like I remember on Tupac's album, got my mind made up. Inspector Deck was on the joint. They took him off for some reason.
Wow.
Was there any records like that maybe you were on, they took you off, or you didn't make the session in time?
That happened to me a couple of times. I was on, Mike Geronimo had a song. It was on How to Be a Player soundtrack. It was me, DMX, obviously Mike Geronimo. I forgot who else was on the song. And then I think it's called Usual Suspects or Unusual Suspects.
Is it Hove on that? Is it Hove on that too, right?
No.
Hove ain't on that.
No.
And I know I did my thing on that.
Yeah. And then what happened?
So when Mike Geronimo came out with his album, they took me off and they put somebody else. I was like, wow. But I didn't care. It's like, okay, it is what it is. So I got taken off of that joint. But I left a body on the first one. I'm not saying I bodied anybody else. I'm just saying I did my thing on it. So it made no sense to me to take me off. Obviously, the most popular thing I got taken off was La Familia.
Yeah.
The Notorious, his vocal got erased by accident in the studio. That's when I knew that the industry was different. And what else? I think that's it. I think that's the only joints that I didn't make. There's a couple of artists that wanted me to be on their projects, like newer artists, like in recent years. I won't say their name, but I didn't get on the projects, and a lot of times it wasn't my fault because I don't live in the city. I live upstate.
Yeah.
And
the commute is like,
it's the commute, and then it's accessibility.
Yeah,
I don't got studios and shit like that.
like,
I don't got a studio in my house.
Yeah.
This day and age, everybody think everybody got a studio now. Yo, Meg, I need a verse.
That,
I don't got a studio in my crib. So there's a few projects that I could have been on, but I didn't meet the deadline, but that wasn't my fault. I didn't have the studio capability. So that's that. And the only thing that I regret, my biggest regret, was I was at Bear Mountain one time, and it was like one of those, every hood does trips. Like you pay to get on the bus and y'all go, and the food is free, and y'all can drink, whatever. And I see Big L. That's my guy. So at this time, I didn't know the industry like I knew it then. Like my album Testament, I turned to all my songs. Yeah. So he's like, any room on a Testament? I was like, nah, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So if I knew then what I know now, I'd have been like, yo, but let's do something else.
Yeah, just hold it. Yeah.
And then when he died, to this day that bothers me. And he's been dead for what, 20 years or something?
Yeah.
So that bothered me. Like I didn't take initiative, but I didn't know any better. Back in the days, it was hard to get in the studio.
Yeah, it was crazy, yeah.
So it's like, if I knew then what I knew now, I'd have made sure I did that song Big L.
Yeah. How much would hip-hop be different without the losses of artists like Big L, Big Pun, Pac, Big? I mean, you talking about the top tier of lyricists kind of wiped away in like a 3-year span.
I think the biggest loss, every loss is insurmountable. Everybody has an emotional connected to those people, especially their families. But as far as touching people around the globe, I've never seen nothing like Tupac's impact. Like I've been to Africa and seen Tupac like sculptures and all over the world, everywhere in the world I've ever been, I've seen Tupac.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. So if you look at the type of stuff he was giving us, like staring out my rearview window, he's talking political stuff.
Yeah, he was just
social stuff. I think he was the most well-rounded rapper of all time. I'm not saying he's the best lyricist, but well-rounded. He could make a song that your parents be like, I don't like you listening to that. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll hear Dear Mama. They be like, I like him. You should listen to him. It's
or Brenda's Got a Baby. Or
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Keep your head up.
Yeah.
So it's like he was so well-rounded as a rapper that and look how much stuff he left back in that short time. So what if he lived longer?
I mean, that's crazy. I
mean, every loss is insurmountable. Every loss. Rest in peace to Biggie. Rest in peace to Pun. Rest in peace to Big L. Rest in peace to everybody we lost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the thing about, like, on Pac specifically, he recorded all that material before he was 25.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's guys that don't even have the amount of material that he put out after he died.
That's facts. And there's still stuff we never heard, and we still heard a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So his work ethic was crazy.
Apparently they have that One Nation album somewhere. Where he did an album, it was like a collaboration album. I think Tretch and them was on there. I think Black Moon. Smith and Wesson. I asked Tech about it. He said he didn't make the project, but apparently that's floating somewhere. All right, so new project out now, The Realness 2. Lloyd Banks is on there. He didn't lose a step. He didn't lose a step. Shout out to Havoc. He's on there.
Yes, sir.
What do you want the fans to know about this project?
I just want them to listen to it, and then whatever they know about it from there is with it. I want them to listen to it and feel it and see what they think. I don't want to market it. I don't want to sell it to them. I want you, if you really love hip hop, you claim that you love hip hop, and you're tired of, artists that stray away from the culture or stray away from the lyricism or stray away from boom bap. This is the album for you.
Yeah, most definitely. When it's all said and done, final question: what do you want the Cormega legacy to be?
Consistent. Growth, and mention amongst the best. Even if I'm not saying I'm the best, but don't have a conversation talking about the greatest and don't mention me. Don't have a conversation to talk about independence and don't mention me. When I see people talking about independence and they try to overlook me, that's like not mentioning Jackie Robinson and Black contribution with baseball. Like there was nobody that got a Source Award when it was an independent artist until I did it. Like I got Hip Hop Quotable of the Month for the Testament album when it came out independently. And that shit was the same album Def Jam had on the shelf. So I got a hip-hop quotable for a song that was like 8 years old. That shows that my lyrics are timeless. I did so much for the game. Nobody was making mixtapes before me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody. You could do your research. There was no mixtape before I was doing my mixtapes. I was doing mixtapes like albums. That's a formula everybody uses now. So when you talk about independent and you try to exclude me, you're either a hater or you're not doing your research.
Yeah, so make sure you research and make sure you check out this new project, The Realness 2, out now. I'm the Infamous Amadeus. This is the Inphamus Hour. Shout out to Boom Bap Nation. My guy is this. So next time, stay safe, stay COVID-19 free. See you then.